Well, good morning. It's not a lovely day today. Actually, it's quite cold out there. This is a video that I had to wake up to and watch, which I'm going to share. And it's in regards to Dee Roberts. Good morning, Dee. By golly, you weren't happy the other day. Actually, I'm not happy to have to wake up to this as well. I'm very unhappy with your comment. Okay, and especially naming me on there as well. So let me start with that first. In regards to what I said on stage, I make no apology. The sounds technician is a friend of mine, which I've known for many years, and that's how we roll. So if you and the people that you may have commented to about that weren't happy with that, I make no apology. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? And I think you probably do. So if this is for popularity for you, you just go for it. But not at the expense of myself and Dean Umu, who organised the event. Now, just for your information, Dean wasn't well. So I was asked if I could actually MC a couple of the bands that were coming on. And I did. Got lost in the process of going out there because I didn't know it had changed to the venue, another venue. And also, that's the reason why they didn't have many food vans. So anyway, I'm skipping off the subject here. So what you said is not nice. That hurt me to have to wake up to that. So I'm not using this as an excuse, but in the last year and a half, I've gone through a lot with my health and still trying to heal. And people like you that don't know this, because you don't need to be very careful with how they want to become popular. And this is not one of those roads that you should be on. It's horrible what you've just done. So, and I think it's a slag, really, what you're doing is, and this is to make Dee famous. And I hope one day you become that person that you want to be. Because when I first saw you with your coordinator on TikTok, I thought, this is really good. I enjoyed watching them. And I probably never will after today. And I wish you well in your journey ahead, but don't do it at the expense of elders. Don't do it at the expense of somebody working really hard to try and put an event together. I actually guided and coached Dean into doing what he does. Right? But I've done it for many, many years. I'm an event manager, as everybody or most people know out there, and it's not easy work. But if you've got a good team and that, it does help. And it's a lot of mahi, and I enjoy doing it. The only reason I haven't yet is because I've gone through a bout of cancer and recovering, and everything's all good. You know, life is good. I enjoy life. I just don't enjoy being slagged by people like you because you want to be the famous Dee Roberts. Okay, so and next time, honey, if you've got anything to say about me, you know, have a talk to me, to my face, not to the world. You know, that's just not right. That's not how our people roll. This is mahi, this is business, and you do that on your own job as well, where you do your reviews at work. Ka pai. But this is our work, and I think you're going to be hurting a few people here today, and I'm one of them. But, I've got some big ones. I grow some big ones, and I'm going to stand up and talk myself. Okay, getting back to events and that, for everybody who's commented on your TikTok, just so that you know, it's a big job, and I'm letting you know this as well. It's a big job putting an event together, and because Dean has moved to a different area to run this event, it's a smaller area, so you can only fit so many. I didn't speak to him about it. I just know by looking at it. It's a smaller area to host it, and it's big mahi. So with the food stalls and that, you can only fit so many in that area, and it's the first time. So one can only improve from that and know what to do next time, And if you don't want to come, just don't. It may be better that you don't, because you're just going there to criticize what people are working hard to try and achieve, so that they can get our community and everybody else out there to have a day out, just to have a day out and sit down in a paddock, I would call it, or a park, and enjoy the day having a kai if you can get to the food stalls. Otherwise, make some and bring your own sandwiches and what have you along in case there's a big queue. It was all new for all of us, not just you, right? And other people, please don't be too harsh on the event managers and their team, right? Because those people out there that are doing the mahi and that's hard work for them. And he's had some great supporter. His team are good people. And I will back them all the way. And I will back Dinumu all the way as well. So don't criticize. Just don't do that. And if you want to have a criticism, say it to us, not to the world. That's naughty. So moving forward, as far as the bands go, now you said that you wanted to hear more of the Polynesians, blah, 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 and not so and so. Aren't you aware that we are Polynesians? The Maoris are Polynesians as well. And it's very, very difficult to get people like, okay, so we have a band up there and they've travelled all the way from such and such place and this is what it's all about, okay? When I put and it's not about me, but when I put my events on, I don't get putia from anywhere. I don't get funding from anywhere, so it's out of my pocket, or when the stall holders pay, that goes towards paying for the whole event, including the stage, the sounds production, and sometimes we don't have enough money, so that comes out of my pocket. Now, getting back to Dean, whatever, if his team are talking and saying, oh, we got this, this, and this, well, that's naughty. But if they're not, my apologies to the team, because it's nobody else's business. These bands come in from somewhere, so sometimes that putia might go to them. But in my case, I don't. All the people come there that perform, they do it for aroha, because we don't get funding. And it's exposure for them. So I think that's the way to go. But in a way, some of the event managers have decided, okay, we're going to pay them, but then they get to a stage where they can't afford to pay them anymore, and then people get hurt. So when I coach people or train them, I say, don't do that, because one day you might not be able to pay anybody, and you can't. So just don't, So anyway, I'm not telling you off, Dean, but, these are taringa to listen. And I love you so much. Getting back to you, Dean, Dee Roberts. I am not angry with you. I'm just hurt that you had to go and do that and, mention my name. I don't like that. My family don't like that. And I'm going to post this on Māori in Perth because you've shared it on TikTok. And, there's no apologies and there's no with due respect. This is just calling it how it is. I'm saying it how it is, and I really didn't appreciate you doing that to me. Okay, so that's naughty, girl. If you want to get popular, go and do it somewhere else. Don't come to our events and go there and be. Who made you a judge and jury of events? Or are you trying to get popular on that as well? Because it ain't going to happen in my book, not in my books anyway. So, and as far as Māori in Perth goes, do you know what? I was going to do something and my moko sort of thought about it and said to me, oh, maybe not, Nan. So I'm not going to take you off there. I'm going to leave you up there. And if you want to have a slag about me, do it up there as well. Because, that's not what I'm about. It's about our people sort of like helping each other. And that's what you should be doing. Instead, you're trying to shut it down and criticize how an event should have been run, I suppose, And until you do it yourself, you just don't know. You just don't know what we have to go through to create these so that people can come out for the day, sit there with their families. And unfortunately, Dean's one was the first time this time in that venue. And unfortunately, there was a lot of people there. The queues were full. What can you do? Bring sandwiches. If you're not happy watching what you're watching, go home, right? The cookie group that was on, as much as I wanted to stay, I couldn't. I was having problems myself. And let me tell you what it is, all right? I'll be honest with you. So I had a catheter in. So I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to heal. And then, of course, I had an accident with that, but I was all prepared with my backup plan in the car. And I had to go and change, and I did my thing, and I'm letting the world know all about this so that you know that there's a bit more to this than what you think it is and what you're trying to make it sound like. So stop doing that. I'm asking you nicely to cut it out. Don't use us to try and get popular. Do something else. Get a real life. If you want to be popular, far out. Go and see those guys that have just started a new studio in New Zealand and become an actress over there. And they'll soon tell you what for back home. Anyway, okay, moving back to what else? Okay, so Max, the operator at the venue. Max is a friend of mine, and I've known Max for many years. He and I had a laugh about it. Anyway, how do you know that I didn't ask him while you're down there, can you pick up that such and such on the ground? Which is not what it was anyway, but it was for a bit of a laugh. And that's what it's about when you're up there as well. I was asked at the last minute if I could MC these two entertainers, or the groups coming up, and I said yes. As much as it was difficult for me to climb up on that stage, I still said yes to it. And this is to let you know, all right? So everything doesn't have to be spick and span. We all improvise on the day, and maybe one day when our Waitangi is on again, I will call on you to come up and be an MC for the day. Would you do that? And I mean this wholeheartedly. I'm not being sarcastic or horrible. I would like you to MC my next event. And if you let me know now, yes or no, then we will keep it to that and keep on flowing, and life goes on. Just don't do this again, and don't mention my name, because that's really not nice. Leave our people that are the event people alone, and let them get on with what they are. If people are going to complain, they do anyway. That's what life is all about. If you don't complain, that means we've got a perfect world, and how boring would that be? So I'm about to wind up here, and I just don't want to forget anything in case. So I'm going to share this with Dean Umu, because he's probably not aware that you've done what you've done, and you can give yourself a pat on the back, right? So also, just to let you know, one of my best friends is a cookie as well, and she was there on the day helping Dean, because that's his right hand, and that's Hana Whareaitu. She's a very good friend of mine. We work together elsewhere, and so it's nothing against whoever. It's not the cookies. I love them. So just don't do that. This is what you've started, and we're all Polynesians. We're all as one. Okay. So you have a nice day, and please get back to me, because I'd like you to actually get up and be an MC at my next event. Okay, ka kite, have a wonderful day.